Strap in, boys and girls. I'm starting a series on dating while disabled.
Oh yeah, I've always been a contrarian. Oh yeah, I've always been a contrarian. Oh yeah, they say I'm just a little too young. Oh yeah, I've always been a contrarian.
Hey, I'm Laramie, and welcome to another day in my Crip Life. Today, I want to start what I hope will be an ongoing series about what it's like being disabled and trying to date in today's dating world. When I was younger, I got married at 20, first of all. So my dating experience before being married was not all that extensive. I had a couple of girlfriends after high school, in college. In high school, none of the girls would date me. But in college, I was able to find a couple of girlfriends along the way. And back then, we didn't have dating apps. We didn't have dating websites. We didn't have anything where you could meet people outside of your daily interactions in the world. So the way you found people to date was either people in classes at college. One of my girlfriends I met that way, and then another was she worked at the comic book shop that I hung out at all the time. And what's funny there is that all the comic book guys would come in there and hit on her and ask her out all the time, and she'd turn them all down. And the coworkers, a few of her coworkers, would even ask her out on occasion, and she'd shut them down. But I asked her out, and she said sure. So that was kind of fun. But I got married, like I said, at 20. Met Sylv online when I was about 19, 20. And they were about 20, 21. And we got married just before my 21st birthday. So about 4 months before my 21st birthday. So I don't have a lot of dating history to really draw on from back then. And that's not what I want to talk about anyway. What I want to talk about is what it's like dating today. And before I get into it, I do want to note that Sylv, who was my partner for 28 years, we were married for 27, they became sick about 4 years into our marriage, and we pretty much from that point on did not do much physically at all. And after about 8 or 9 years, they had to have their own bed separate from me. So I was allowed to do whatever I wanted. We had an open relationship. I was able to go out and do whatever as long as I cleared it with her and I didn't bring anything home. I didn't really take much advantage of that. I've been to a few strip clubs, things like that, but I didn't really have any hookups or any girlfriends on the side or anything. Just a number of reasons, both to do with finances, but also to do with personal reasons, and I'm not going to get into because that's not what this episode is about. Just never really acted on it beyond strip clubs. So I have not a lot of experience in the dating world, but I say all this to let you know that it's been about 5 months since Sylv passed. I don't want you thinking that I'm rushing to move on or anything. Everything I'm going to be talking about here, I could have been doing when Sylv was still here. So it's not anything of that sort. We were best friends, soulmates, creative partners, but the romantic element, the physical element of our relationship was non-existent after about 4 or 5 years in. So this isn't anything that would upset or offend them. They'd be like, go out there and get it, sweetie. So just wanted to put that out there up front. But so basically, we have a lot of things today that we didn't have when I was younger, dating apps, things like that. And these are both good and bad in a sense. I started with, as most people do, your Tinder, things like that, your basic dating sites or dating apps. And I get pretty much no responses. I get next to none. One thing I've noticed is that occasionally I will get people who it will say matched with me, and then I'll message them, and then they will unmatch me. And what I found out is generally going on there are some people who just swipe right on everyone and see who swipes back and then weed it out from there. And so what I think is happening is I'm getting caught in that net of everyone, and then they go, oh, nope, disabled, next. But yeah, so I don't have much success there at all. Same with more deeper level dating sites like OkCupid or something like that. I really don't get matches. I don't really get people answering me. It doesn't work. for the disabled, and I'm sure, I'm only speaking from my own personal experience, but I'm sure that plenty of other disabled people would probably tell you the same thing, that for a lot of us, it doesn't work. There's just a lot of people that will just go right past you because they don't know if you can do anything and they don't want to ask. It's just a hassle to find out. It's awkward, whatever, and they just keep going. So I've tried a number of sites and I've tried a number of things, and I've had some success in different ways. But what I want to talk about today is the awkwardness around disability and dating someone who's disabled, or considering dating someone who is disabled. So on one of the sites that I'm on, I have recently met somebody in the last few weeks that is going to be coming up this weekend for my birthday. My birthday is going to be Saturday, and so they're coming up for my birthday and spending the weekend up here. And when we were talking, I asked them, very plainly, so we're on the same page. What are you looking for or expecting or wanting to get out of this weekend? And they asked me, well, if we did stuff, what would that be like? And I know what they meant was, how would it work is what they're asking. They want to know, can you do that? Are you capable? What are your limitations? Things like that, because a lot of people will take a look at you and they'll go, I don't want to hurt you. I don't even know what you can do, and I don't want to put you in an uncomfortable position. I don't want to cause pain. I don't want to break anything. And so a lot of people, just thinking that, won't even ask. They won't go the step further and say, well, what would that be like? What can you do? What is the situation? But I couldn't help, but I could not resist when they said, what would that be like? My immediate answer that I sent was, for you, amazing. I'm incredible with my mouth. So that was my answer. It was intended to be an icebreaker, to make her laugh and to kind of lighten the mood a little bit, because it is an awkward subject, and I know that it is uncomfortable for people to even, broach the subject. And I wanted to make light of it. But I then went on to say, everything's there, everything works. I just am very limited in positions, and I, enjoy certain things more than others. Some things that a lot of guys like, I'm not really into, and that honestly, at the end of the day, I actually am more of a giver than a receiver, and that's kind of where I'm at. And so, but the important thing was that she asked me. She actually just asked me flat out, and I answered. And I wish so many more people would take that chance, that they would consider, hey, they seem cool, let me ask, rather than, I don't even know how to ask, I don't know what to say, I don't know how to approach that, and they just move on to the next person. But she gave me that chance, and so we talked, and now she understands and, knows that if anything does happen, I'm not going to break, I'm not going to have to go to the hospital because you broke my arm or dislocated anything. Well, maybe if I'm lucky. But, so general point being that she understands that what I can and can't do and what those lines are, and she knows that because she bothered to ask me. And so many people just don't even bother to ask. They just write us off. And it's one of the reasons that I want Sex on Wheels to be taken and to become a TV show, is because there's so much in there that I think would help the disabled in the dating world, and you show that disabled people can be sexy, they can be sexual, they can be active partners, they can do all the things that other people can do. They just might do it in different ways. And for the record, I am not lying when I say that because I do everything with my mouth. I am very, very dexterous with my mouth, and I can do things that most guys or even women can't do. I can tie cherry stems in 3 knots. I can lift an unopened beer or soda can off the table with just the power of suction alone. I am basically a straight woman and a gay man's wet dream. So, but you have to be able to, give me that chance first to find that out. So the first topic that I wanted to cover is just give us a chance. Talk to us about it, ask us. Don't be afraid to embarrass yourself. Don't be afraid to ask an awkward question. If you are interested in somebody, I guarantee you they would rather answer the question and let you know rather than you just not even give them the chance. And that's one more opportunity that you and they both missed out on. So that's pretty much what I wanted to go over today. And I will be covering more things in the future, but that was the specific point that I wanted to talk about right now. I haven't been around posting lately. I know I was gone all last week, and part of this week I did put out the Cripple Punk video, but last week was kind of a rough week. With my birthday coming up, my first birthday without Sylv, lost a friend recently. I just had a really, really down week last week, and I didn't want to be putting out down videos all the time. I don't mind one every now and then like I did the week before, and I don't mind talking about when things are going on that I do want to talk about or that might help people to understand about us. But when it's just basically normal everyday life bullshit that everybody goes through, that's not as important for me to address. That's not as big of a thing for me to put down on video and upload for you to watch and to learn something from. Problems that everybody else has are problems that everybody else has. And I'm trying to keep this about what it's like as a disabled person. But that said, I can start posting some more of that if people want to, but I'm also doing better now. I am out working on the strip more. The money situation's getting better, so that's all improving. And like I said, I have this friend coming up this weekend to spend the weekend of my birthday with me, and that's going to be fun. And so things are starting to look up a bit. I'm moving forward on life and work and the TV show and everything else. I still don't have any updates for you yet, but hopefully soon. And that's pretty much where I've been at. I've just been kind of adjusting to having my weekend situation all screwed up and messed around now because I don't have my regular weekend person, and dealing with the fact that one of my closest friends is not in my life anymore, and they were one of the few people that knew me and Sylv that I could talk to about Sylv and things with Sylv. So that's missing, and that just really kind of had me down last week. But I'm bouncing back. I'm doing better, and I thank you guys as always for watching. Please like and subscribe, and make sure you share this on your social media, pass it around. Try to help me grow this channel. I know I'm not the only person on YouTube that does disability topics. There are others out there that I'm finding and watching all the time, and they're covering topics that make me go, hey, I could talk about that. But sometimes they've already talked about it well enough that I don't feel I need to. But the thing about the disabled is that all of our experiences are unique, and all of our lives are different. All of our disabilities are different. So even if they've covered things that I would like to cover, it doesn't mean they've covered it exactly the way that I would, or that I don't have things to add to that. So I will be back with more, and I will let you know tastefully how the weekend went, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks again. Bye.